Pawa Radio. Tune in and power up.
Mighty fingers.
Jazz.
I make mountains out of molehills, and it can be quite the scene. Think about how far I've come in my life, looking greater than it's ever been. If I could eat my pie in the sky, it would be just my thing. Sipping on my champagne, and my life looking greater than it's ever been. My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. I don't know about my haters, but they should know about me. Keep me humble, oh God. My life looking greater than it's ever been. I overflow flavor. My pockets are full of cream. Even on my worst day, my life looking greater than it's ever been. Woo! My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. You're jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you're jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you're jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you're jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you're jealous, don't hold me back. Jealous, don't hold me, no, no, no. If you're jealous, don't hold me back. I'm saying, please don't jealous me. Please don't jealous me. I'm singing, please don't jealous me. Please don't jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. Jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back.
Pawa Radio. Tune in and power up.
Alrighty, that is the Africa Sun by Tetu Shani, and it's playing right here on Pawa Radio. This is a Pawa Morning Drive show. Welcome, 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 boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pawa Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike. You are on Pawa Radio, where you tune in and power up. It is the 5th day of the second month of 2025. Isilabasi nakimbia. Somebody was joking that it's also the 38th day of January, but haidhuru. But welcome to the how is the love month taking you? How is the love month taking you? Are you excited for Valentine's? What is the tea? What is the tea? Do let us know. Remember, the hashtag to use is hashtag Pawa Morning Drive. Yeah, you can catch us on our social media handles. We are streaming across all platforms. YouTube. We are also on X. We are also streaming on Facebook. And you can also catch us on Instagram at Pawa Radio across all platforms to get what is happening. Right. Let's start off with the day's traffic update, and I start off with Thika Road today. There is traffic from KCA University down all the way towards Pangani. Same situation happening across, Limuru Road, from Village Market down towards Parklands as well. Kiambu Road's looking the same situation, especially as you go from Vindigua and also that stretch down towards Ridgeway's Mall. There's a little bit of a snarl up. DCI, Kamakawa, and then all the way down towards Pangani. Same situation happening on Lower Kabete Road. It's quite busy this morning, from Zen Garden all the way down towards the Spring Valley Police Station. Things are looking bumper to bumper. Then Wanyoike Way, from ABC Place, things are a little bit slower than usual this morning, and so you guys should be out of the woods in no time. Ngong Road from Junction Mall, kumeshikana kidogo pale. As you go towards Coptic Hospital, there's a little bit of a snarl up there. The same situation happening along Mombasa Road from the Next Gen Mall along Capital Center. As you go in towards town, things are looking quite hectic this morning. The same situation is happening also along Langata Road inbound towards town. From Tamarind Tree Hotel there at the areas of Uhuru Gardens down towards Western Hotel. Things are a little bit snarly, but it clears out soon after that. The same situation happening along Manyanja Road, also Jogoo Road pia kumeshikana bumper to bumper. Your way from Embakasi, from Nyayo Estate, from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, as you go internally towards the Eastern Bypass pia kumeshikana. Oh my God, all the way towards Imara Daima and the likes. Same situation happening across, where have I forgotten? A road, yes, Kikambala Road also, things are looking quite hectic this morning. Same situation happening also along, where is this? Along Peponi Road. Peponi Road pia kumeshikana kidogo as you go towards into Westlands and the likes. Right. In case of any accidents or incidents or anything that is interesting on the roads that you would like to report to us on, remember the hashtag to use is hashtag Pawa Morning Drive. And make sure that you get to work safely, and you should be out of the woods in no due time. Right, now let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we get into the day's news that have been making headlines, both locally and internationally. And a lot has been happening. So let's do that break, and we will be right back. Keep it Power Radio.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Tungepatana ukinikata mara moja wezi nitamalaya. And you're telling everybody that this Gucci's on fire. Only fans kwenye nimefika nafungua only fans. Kauna nipenda tuma fare in advance. Kwenye nimefika no romance with no finance. Only fans, yeah yeah. Only fans kwenye nimefika nafungua only fans. Kauna nipenda tuma fare in advance. Kwenye nimefika no romance with no finance. Only fans, yeah yeah.
Hello, ladies blowing up my phone. You call me baby. Aki bien, you are so bomb. Wakituma fare twakuja kwako. mia do, itabidi ukanje ndo tupige show. Ukisikia sauti solo jue ni kubaya. Hii muziki ya Kenya twaipeleka Ulaya, na temperature inapanda warazi wanakwaya. Tutashinda magrami before tumeretire. Mise only fans walimefika na tambua only fans. Kanika kitu umetumia only fans. Walimefika nafanyia only fans. Only fans, yeah, yeah, only fans. Kitu umetumia only fans. Walimefika mutambua only fans. Only fans, yeah, yeah.
Tumekuja kupati DJ hebu weka traki, tukule happy halafu tufungue sakafu, sababu inabamba inashika, wimbo la tisa inatufikisha. Ukiachilia mahewa manze DJ unatubeba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba. Karibia, inakubamba, vipi dada, shake your nanda, inakutouch touch, si relax relax, kwenye dance floor, show us what, unanoki, hauchoki, kwenye dance floor, hautoki, unahisi hii muziki, unahisi nameless na mimi, it's nameless. In conjunction with Ogopa, tumekuja kuhakikisha kwamba speakers zinasikika. Hey yo mister, are you a member? Hey yo sister, wacha kulenga. Can't you see that I'm talking to you? Sasa weka mikono juu. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba. Ukikatika na hingoma, just be cool as a cucumber. Alone name the super fresh lakini twende wewe yeye wewe vice versa vile wataka.
Mr. Brother, wacha kuzuba, ukisleki hautapata.
Fungua macho, floni yako, cheza wimbo kama ni wako, cheza wimbo kama ni wako, sababu huu wimbo ni wako.
Isa hatucheki na watu,
Nameless hatucheki na watu,
ma MC hatucheki na watu,
Ogopa hatucheki na watu. Unahisi hizi flows za Afrika, unahisi kama unakatika. Can you feel this fun till the rear? Can you feel this up in here? Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
ukikatika na hingoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Na tumekuja kupati, ambia wenzetu samahani, hawako nasi na tuko nao, basi wametupa mao, sababu inabamba inashika, wimbo la tisa inatufikisha. Ukiachilia mahewa manze DJ unatubeba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
Ukikatika na hingoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Pawa Radio. Tune in and power up.
Nanga sherehe on a daily. Ndio maana introvert hawanipendi. Kujibonga ndio inaleta super wengi. Wananiita papito, papito, mastingo ni zake mandingo. Natoka klabu wa mwisho kwa mfuko ni zero la wamani ya kesho. El Capitan, napenda usherati na warembo malisa. Mimi nimechoka, lakini bado ninagodha. Anarumbosa, ni mina wa Kuma vitu na tunazoza, kama uko nervous tonga kijaba, usijelala. Kuna walevi wamekuja wamenyanya, akina dada wanataka biringanya. Ndio sherehe imeanza, kwa sherehe utatupata, kwa sherehe utatupata.
Fika kwenye party, statement ya kifahari
manganya. Ndio sherehe imeanza, kwa sherehe utatupata, kwa sherehe utatupata.
Okay, fine. I have a 100 bob in my pocket. Nataka nikunywe 40 shillings. 60 shillings ni fair? Fair.
Sasa presti na utaki. Neno usula.
Pawa Radio. Tune in and power up.
Back with another ba bam ba bam bam. Back with another one. Ba bam ba bam bam. Let's get it. Ba bam ba bam bam. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a lane 'cause I really like the way, your music is insane. Joe, hadithi, Joe, wacha nikusho about this girl I know, about this girl called Mary Jane, about the way she used to kill 'em with the show, kill 'em with the yo, kill them pretty girl there. She got that shaku, got that katika. Every night and day, up before 20 p.m. Everybody say, gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane cause I really like the way your music is insane. Caribbean lane, to just in a Mary Jane. Just in a Mary Jane, to just in a Mary Jane. Caribbean lane, cause I really like the way your music is insane. Caribbean lane, to just in a Mary Jane. To just in a Mary Jane, to just in a Mary Jane. Caribbean lane, cause I really like it. And I really, 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 really like it. Yeah, man, I really like to dance. Really like to move my body like that. Really like to dance. Really like to move my body like that. Okay, najua unapendanga energy drink, lakini ukitaka mali safi and the chain. Kuna manziana everything you need. Gotta break your back, gotta break your back, gotta break your back until everything don't be leveling. Go so sweet, they be jealousy. Everything about you is so highly. I know you know, they know you got nice energy. I keep stronger. Every time so exciting. Now what lie, you mesmerizing. Nice energy, I keep stronger. That is why Mary Jane makes you feel some type of way. Caribbean lane, you just in a Mary Jane. Just in a Mary Jane, you just in a Mary. Just in a Brandon, Jerry. Just in a Kendra, just in a Abby. Just in a Eddie Car. Just in a Lynn, just in a Tracy. Just in a Dodo. Now I rainbow.
Pawa Radio. Power up.
Whatever them say now it don't matter. Jealousy tryna blow us steam. See them eyes them green cause they envy we. Give them a show, pina mukongo. Wachokoze, kulia kushoto. Jueni queen unachafu asino. Kidansu na wachanganya. Let's take it slow, turinge kitoko. Tusiogope choma photo. Oh no, oh no. Hadi washikwe na follow. Because of you. We fool because of you. We fool because of you. We fool because of you. And the things that we do. And the things that we do. Nivulie, sindiria, ninyamaziwa.
Analo added that the county had directed all owners of buildings in Nairobi.
Mambo yetu, kuna wengi wanafuatilia. But don't let it get to your head, moto yao tutazima. Baby, you make a man scatter. Utanifanya nikulambe mapaja, pole pole juu nikipanda.
Analo added that the county had directed all owners of buildings because of you. Analo added that the county had directed all owners of buildings.
And the things that we do. And the things that we do. And the things that we do. It's so fresh on the beat and you know it's a hit again. such a beautiful night, so I wanna stay out with you till the morning comes along. No, Zulu and Kinyadi, the polo hallelujah. Give me the word and a bit of me. With the money, one yellow yoro. And now we made it to the mountain tops. Let me take your hands, baby, lead your way. And now we're cruising to the promised land. Mind low, better not mind low. And now we made it to the mountain tops. Let me take your hands, baby, lead your way. And now we're cruising to the promised land. Mind low, better not mind low. Kai go dire atia, kai go dire. Ya kumbanya de daga ka oda siri. Kai go dire atia, kai go dire. Ya kumbanya de daga ke modo siri. Aye, 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 aye. Milima na mabonde, ore wa yora yora. 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 Nama chukagera rosine ke besilia, my dear. Nama Rosine Gwesilia, my dear. Ooh, nah, they're busy. On a me hang on near no digger. We had I and near no joke. Ogorama one year go ahead. On a dear way, can I wake a dog a summer? The hotel and the wakinya joke go ahead. How get in it? Don't get me watch que compañía de daga kauda siri. Don't get me nisa. Que compañía de daga que modo siri. Aye, 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 aye. Milima na mabonde, ore wa yora yora. Milima na mabonde, ore wa yora yora. Milima na mabonde, ore wa yora yora. Milima na mabonde, ore wa yora yora.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Alrighty, welcome back. That is the illustrious Costa Ojwang with the song Hi, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive Show. My name is Anne Wanyoike. Now, let's get into what has been making local and international news, and we start with some rather sad news here. It's a story of demise. His Highness Prince Karim Al Husseini Aga Khan the 49th hereditary Imam, which in quotes spiritual leader of the Shia Ismaili Muslims and founder and chairman of the Aga Khan Development Network, has died in Lisbon, Portugal, at the age of 88. And so, just to give you a background of who this guy is, he hails from the very high and mighty Aga Khan family, and the Aga Khan family has quite the extensive legacy. Now, I'm sure you've heard about the Aga Khan schools or Aga Khan University, Aga Khan Hospital. They've been at it as a family for the past 68 years, and so it's quite interesting, to just kind of think about the legacy that he's going to leave behind, but also, with such families, you are kind of born into the mandate and the major responsibility of continuing with the family legacy. Let me just give you a brief breakdown of some of the ventures that are under the Aga Khan Development Network. We have the Aga Khan schools, we have the Aga Khan universities, we have Aga Khan hospitals, we have Aga Khan Agency for Microfinance, the Aga Khan Cultural Coordinates, Aga Khan Historic Cities Program, the Aga Khan Award for Architecture, the Aga Khan Museum. We have music awards, Muslim architecture program. My God, the list is endless. And it just really got me thinking about how, one, I have not even started living. And number two, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, because this is just one family. In a span of 68 years, they've been able to manage to do all these things under one name, really, truly. But then that just goes to show you can actually achieve something if you really put your mind to it. And I think for them, it was deliberate. The four founders of their family was very deliberate in terms of making sure that their name is among the lips of the people and wanted to be remembered for investing in humanity in whatever way that they can. And so may his soul rest in peace. The Nation Media Group also is under the Aga Khan family, and so that's just the sad demise stories that is opening up for us today. But moving quite along, there are some chiefs that were abducted in the northern region, the northeastern region of Kenya, and I'd like us to listen into a story that was done by KTN about the same, and then we come back and discuss this in depth.
Well, once again, it's a pleasure to have you with us. My name is Jesse Rogers. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Meresha Owiti. Let's begin with our top story tonight, where President William Ruto has ordered the release of all chiefs who were abducted in Mandera yesterday. The president, who is on a tour of northeastern region, declared that the abducted chiefs will be rescued as soon as possible. The president further said the government will prioritize education, infrastructure, and security sectors that are facing challenges in the area. Hamza Yusuf reports.
President William Ruto has embarked on a 4-day tour of the vast northeastern region. His visit to the area was preceded by the abduction of 5 chiefs by a non-gunman in Elwak, Mandera. The president visited Mandera to open the Mandera Teachers College. It was here that the president condemned the abduction and ordered the return of the chiefs immediately.
Bwana Masengeli nishamueleza ya kwamba juu chini, kulia kushoto, mbele na nyuma, east or west, mpaka mambo haya yatatuliwe, kwa sababu we have significantly downgraded the ability of the Al-Shabaab to unleash violence to the people of northern Kenya.
The visibly angry president issued a stern warning to the top police bosses and other security officers, saying the culprit must be held to account. The president tour to the region appears godsend, as the region has suffered shortage of teachers as a result of insecurity. Today he presided over the launch of Mandera Teachers College.
Ile ubaguzi ambayo imeendelea Kenya hii kwa miaka 60, ati mtoto wa Mandera, ati mtoto wa Wajia, ama Garissa ama Tana River, ati akienda kutafuta kitambulisho anaulizwa maswali kuzidi ile wamama wanaulizwa huko kwa maternity. Hiyo maneno tumesema itakoma.
The president was in the company of several cabinet secretaries. The leaders present acknowledged the significance of pastoral communities. They said the era of discrimination and unequal service delivery is now gone.
Watu wa Mandera watapata barabara, maji, stima. Tunakupongeza na tunakuunga mkono kwa sababu Mandera ni Kenya na lazima ipate haki yake kama sehemu moja ya Kenya.
And the only crime you have committed, the only crime President Ruto is being accused for, is that he is uniting the people of Kenya as one indivisible, united people.
For the past 5 months, Mandera County has been facing power shortage.
All right, that's a story by KTN News and that aired yesterday night. Yes, and so these 5 chiefs from Mandera County were abducted by suspected Al-Shabaab militia on the Wargadud Elwak Road, and that was President William Ruto speaking at his state visit that is going to be there for the next 4 days as he looks at some of the projects that are undergoing, that are being, flagged off in the northern eastern region. Now, you have had there a couple of things that have been stated, and I'm just going to take you through some bits of the story here, according to the Daily Nation on page 3. One thing that you need to know is that one, the suspects of the abductions are the Al-Shabaab, and you were able to hear there William Ruto, the president, speaking about the fact that we've been able to subvert terrorism and militia activities in the northeastern region, and that I don't think we've yet quite recovered from the overtaking of the Al-Shabaab. I know that we have our KDF soldiers that are still wanashikilia doria kule, as they say it in Swahili, and it's been the bane of the existence of anybody that lives on the Horn of Africa, and you can tell for sure that it's an ongoing fight. Now, you will realize that, you will remember that Kenya has been quite through it when it comes to terrorism activities. We just saw the Dusit attack that has happened a couple of years ago. We also saw the Westgate attack from Al-Shabaab militia. And so I don't know for sure that there's anything that we can say in terms of Al-Shabaab being completely done away with, because remember that they exist as a militia group, and militia groups do exist as subsects of a bigger group. So, like, for example, we have linkages from Al-Shabaab to the Al-Qaeda. That does not have its base on the Horn of Africa. Al-Qaeda operates largely in the United uko kwa Warabu, those countries for UAE and stuff like that. So I think it's quite misleading to say that we have subverted any terrorism, any terrorism related activities in Kenya, and we should be very vigilant, because we keep hearing the intelligence coming out with stories of there was a plan for an attack, and people keep living in fear, and especially hard hit areas like Mandera and the Wajirs and all those northern parts of the Wagalas, all those northern eastern parts of this country. They live on high alert, and I think we should be able to beef up our security. But then again, you were able to hear some sound bites on the same issue, because it is a state visit, and so the president was accompanied by his deputy Kithure Kindiki there, and he was able to say that the people of northeastern are supposed to be treated not with discrimination, but with the equality that the rest of the country is able to get the distribution of resources. He was able to mention things like roads, education, water, and it begs the question, like that, as opposed to what? It's just another empty promise from the government and from the state, because I mean, people are paying taxes, so we don't need to even be having a conversation that seems to be reassuring Kenyans of the fact that they should be getting things that are basic, because when you pay your taxes, you make sure that Kenyans get the things that they're supposed to get in the rightful way. Because like yesterday I was seeing a story in Turkana. Like Turkana women have resulted into there's a birth seat that the women there's somebody who came up with an innovation of being they are calling them birth seats, and the reason as to why this story erupted is because the hospitals in Turkana have not been able to be fully facilitated and capacitated, and so it again another day to remind you of the failures of our state, of the failures of the systems that we've put in place. And I would think that I would think I was having a conversation with someone, I don't remember who, but they were saying that if at all the first term of this regime is already failing, yet when you look at former regimes, at least the first term is usually a PR stunt. You make sure that things are aligned, you make sure that all the ducks are aligned, you make sure that people are able to have this kind of hope and expect that the government is going to work. But with this regime specifically, we've seen that it is it's utterly the opposite of the same situation. And so, so that is how the story of the 5 chiefs from Mandera turned into another, I would call it a fiasco, for lack of a better word, of ensuring that, politicians do what they love to do best, which is politicking, and just giving empty promises. They're also at this point I could call him the infamous, but I don't want to be in lawsuits, the cabinet secretary of the cabinet secretary of forestry and climate justice, Duale, there was able to say that the only crime that President Ruto has made so far is ensuring that he is uniting Kenyans. And I beg to differ, absolutely. I'm sure Kenyans would also beg to differ because, again, it's a very cherry-picked kind of conversation there. Of course, you do not put your hand where your mouth is. He is part of the government and he cannot be found talking against and speaking against the ills that have been happening. But there's also more questions about the abduction question, right? It's one thing to be like, okay, it's northern Kenya. So yes, the presence of the Al-Shabaab, we're still in a conundrum when it comes to that. But we still want to demand, and this is a good point for me to ask, who is behind the abductions? Again, the government has come out countless times to say that they are not in any way, in any shape, form, or way involved in the abductions. And so if people who are supposedly in power, like chiefs, can be abducted, the question then remains, what about normal, ordinary Kenyans like myself, who I am just a nobody, to be honest, in the state? And so more questions there that we have to demand upon the same situation. Right. But moving quite along, the story on the cover page of the Daily Nation is Trump's U.S. aid freeze to leave 35,000 Kenyans jobless. Now, thousands of employees of the United States government-funded health projects and other programs in the country are staring at mass layoffs following President Donald J. Trump's order freezing aid, with the reality of the suspension starting to hit home as more than 2,000 workers have been sent on unpaid leave starting this week. Now, let's go even to a regional impact, of the suspension, to just kind of see what the US's, like when things happen in Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States, it affects the rest of the world, which Tony Ndungu, he's an AI specialist, was saying the other day jokingly. So he was saying that the American presidency should be a world affair. Like, we should be able to all vote, because if he is the most powerful man on the earth, then it means that the decisions that Washington makes trickle down to the rest of us. Then we should be able to have a say on who gets to be president of the United States, or as they like to call him, POTUS, right? So jobs impact in Kenya, 1,952 doctors and clinical offices. That is just from the USAID funding and on all the partnerships that come from the United States of America from the taxpayers' money. And you remember, I remind you that maybe 2 weeks ago, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta was able to say that he does not understand why Kenyans are questioning about the withdrawal of the United States funding from, for example, healthcare. And he was able to go ahead and say that we are entitled because this is the taxpayers' money of Americans and not of Kenyans. So he can decide to do what he wants to be able to do with the taxpayers' money of the Americans. So that's 1,952 doctors and clinical officers. Then we also have 1,234 nurses and midwives, 578 laboratory staff that will also get a hit from the US backed healthcare funding. We also have more than 340 pharmacists and over 24,577 community health workers that are going to get a hit. That is just the impact in Kenya. Let's look at the impact across the African region. Now, Nigeria, a whopping 11,077 patients affected, including 437 children. We also have our neighbor next door, Uganda, a whopping 14,015 patients affected, including 717 children. We also have our neighboring Tanzania with a whopping 15,115 patients affected, including 601 children. Further down south, Mozambique, 25,932 patients affected, including 1,257 children. Zimbabwe, 10,325 patients affected. And finally, South Africa takes it home with 368 patients affected, including 974 children. So you can see the state in which America puts the rest of the world. And I do not understand exactly why the whole world unanimously just decided that, okay, we will have one country that gets to decide, big things, and nobody really dares to ask and question them and in terms of exactly why they make such decisions. But the bigger conversation here that I think we should also be having as people, as Kenyans, is perhaps we need to start talking about domestic funding models. We are talking about a country that loses 2 billion Kenya shillings, and that's just in the healthcare system. I wonder what that looks like in other ministries, for example. So by the time we are losing 2 billion Kenya shillings every day because of corruption and the greed that we have, it means that we have the capabilities. We just have the right resources, but it is in the wrong hands. And so if we find a way of making sure that we channel all those resources and monies to the right ways and use it in the right direction, then we should not be having problems like this. And I'm just telling you, like, the facts are 40 billion US dollars is what the US government was giving to in terms of healthcare funding in Kenya. So you can see the hit here looks like 35,000 jobless people. On top of the fact that we are also we're still trying to figure out our own job situations here. Job security is a big challenge in Kenya. We're also talking about now, leave alone that there's also the healthcare system itself, the shift the transition that will also not make it easier. But you see, I think the hit has to happen so that we can start really thinking beyond funding and beyond Western the core dependency. It's not even core dependency, it's actually overt dependency on the Western models of funding, and we start having very serious and rigorous conversations and framing. Because, like, what a joke. I was reading about, for example, climate action funding. Do you know in Kenya's NDC for climate, they have allocated 13%. That is the money that they want to outsource from domestic, from the locals' pockets, and 87% coming from the West. That really got me surprised, and I was thinking, well, how can you think like that? 13%, this should be the inverse. We should be talking about 87% coming from domestic pockets, because we overtax this country. And even CS Treasury the other day on Fixing the Nation, he was being asked by Akina Eric Latif about what is the situation of, the economy of the country and how does that affect Kenyans. And he came out with a very haphazard explanation to how the economy works. And I'm just like, we need to start thinking about domestic funding. So that's just about it before I continue going on a rant. Then crossing the borders now, CNN's Larry Madowo was able to sit down with the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, on the continuing conversation right now happening with the Goma takeover by the M23, and I refuse to call them rebels because I have my own personal opinions of the same situation, but I digress. And in the interview, and by the way, the East African community chaired by the President William Ruto are meeting this time around, and Emerson Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, is also going to be in attendance from the East African community in diplomatic talks to talk about what exactly can we do to ensure that there's a ceasefire happening in this eastern town of Goma when, and can we just find a way to put an end to this Congolese war? It's been going on for years now. I think all my life I knew that there was a problem with Congo since I started talking, to be honest. And so, yes, President Rwanda, he came out and he said that he does not know. He does not. So Larry Madowo, I was asking him whether he is in any way, shape or form involved in the war. That, because we can call it a war, that is happening right now in Congo. And he said no. Then the rejoinder from Larry was, but he is the chief, the chief commander, the commander in chief, and he said he doesn't know anything that, and he also continued to say that he doesn't know everything that concerns his country. And so again, let's see what the talks from the East African community convergence is going to bear, and if any fruits are going to come from that, we hope that they do. But if not, we will still come back here and talk to you guys about it and keep you up to speed with what exactly is happening on that world. And that leads us to the end of our conversation today. Today we shall be focusing on poetry and activism, and I have the privilege of talking to the one and only, illustrious, indomitable, all the adjectives, poet and activist Oyamo Richard, and he has an upcoming album dubbed Kioo Cha Jamii. So we shall be getting in depth into that conversation. Where can you get the tickets, and his journey towards poetry and activism. So you do want to stick around for that conversation. So we will see you right after this break as we get into our conversation for today. Keep tweeting us, keep atting at us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube as well, at Power Radio. If you have any questions or comments, do let us know. The hashtag to use is hashtag Pawa Morning Drive. See you in a bit. We'll be right back.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Watu wakatike. Hii beat ni facts, kama Blaze, ama kama sukuma wiki na mayonnaise, ama kama Lydia Bura na Victor wakiingia kwa gari pamoja. Hey, hey. Oh no. But anyway, ini ya wa Kenya na wale wa Kenya wako California. Karawa kisikia hii anaangusha AK. Si atujali tumetoka mbali tafadhali pass the kabasi watu wakatike kama wanati nataka party kama leo ni birthday ama niaje sikitikaji. Isi ni kali kazi le magadi ga wangazinaona mpaka uko mandani ya goza kaleka demka kopale na anatingisha vitu kadhalika. Opasikie hii uko ndani ya Vatican Me are no bati man, me am an African. Na kwa wale MCs wote ambaye wanaroga, wacheni kutumia tuka beat moja. This kabuka that, kabuka this, kabuka that, kabuka this, kabuka that, kabuka this, kabuka that. Ndio watu wakatike, this kabuka that, kabuka this, kabuka that, kabuka this, kabuka that. Ndio watu wakatike this. Kila wakati kabuka paka sangapi kabuka paka tendeme chomeka I can't stand hizo machanti zimekusha fashion ni kama nyele za punk kuruka ni kama mumengara pump badilisha jina ya camp na kuwa camp kabuka ini camp kibumbuka ya wadina madem wana matumbo katbele leo ni leo hiyo ni kwele ndarivasisha huyo leni na kuwa neli stele nini kama kina mili vanili wawili wanapiga tu makelele na kushika kibare paka ufresh pandele wewe tazama mbele mintafuga nywele ili kuchanuka kisha nitakupa kitu sika hii kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that ndio watu wakatike this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that ndio watu wakatike na hii kwa hakika watakatika mkunywe mavitu nyingi mutatapika simama na mguu mmoja kwa madakika uniambie kama zimeshika na zimeshika kama fika kale kademcho ubaya ananika na anamshika jua najua nikifika atajipa ndio sahi ana mafikra jua na bamba kunyamba kwenye kitanda siti zinakasi mekarangwa harufu mpaka kwenye varanda karamba na katahanda kwanza manga labda ndala kuku nzima sima kabla kuku nguta chupa mzinga lazima lima shamba kisha panda wezi dishi kabla pika kwanza ya bamba kama sampa na unaganja kwa jampa beya yeka fanta pana mwacha bitia chapa kama hicha kasha achaka kama nzika kitingi shamba this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that ndio watu wakatike this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that ndio watu wakatike this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this kabuka that kabuka this ndio watu wakatike Me I keep it fresh on. Me I keep it fresh.
Handle count moolah.
I come correct, and you're my swag so official like I'm the ref. See, I be rockin' Louis, so shorties wanna do me. Have all these haters feeling so underdressed. I see you mugging me, but I ain't mugging back. Cause I ain't got time for your chitty chat. Why you tryna copy and paste me? I'll be with your broad like butter on pastry. She's on my arm like my Virgin Mary. And we be on that weed from early. OG, smoking by the OZ. And all she wanna see is a couple emojis. Well, I got money to blow. And shorty, I ain't tripping, so you already know. Can't moolah all day. If you want it, gon' pay. Hater, I'm just letting you know that
all I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Okay, my life is not the same, and I know who
to blame. If I remember the name, it sounded something like fame. For the money, for the game, I would kill it. No shame. Rep a crew that's untamed, and I'm a dude that's maintained. Swagger so right as Frank. Funny Benjamin sitting in the bank. What you think? I've been working hard, numbers agree. So please believe me, this is easy, born to be an MC. So I took one Nairobi, the swagger strong only. Yeah. 24 hours round the clock, Wani. The Levi store know me. Big up Ryo and Fuzzy. Now I'm fresh all day, Nikki Chapakazi. Boys be looking at P, this ever slappy. Lucy, Kibaki, LOL. Yeah, I'm only messing, I'm just digging the jam. Bumping it with my fam. Chuck Taylor's helping me stand. Let go.
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
I said we on to be their favorite. Moolah team pacing. Further than the basement, higher than the spaceships. NASA couldn't waste this, rockets couldn't chase this. Swagger on vintage, African fresh prince. Flying like the Jetsons, higher than the Jeffersons. Moving on up till they can't get enough of us. Now we at the top, better use your binoculars. Swagger non-stop is what you do if you have some. And I'm just getting started. Ever seen a Kenyan boy trying to go harder? You gotta work for your profit, cause everybody's trying to get paid in Nairobi. I think your swagger need coaching. Fresh all day, it's all cool by the ocean. Swagging down the South Coast, you could say we coasting. High grade blowing, super flowing. Damn.
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Fresh all day, fresh all day, all day. Fresh all day, fresh all day, fresh all day, all day. Fresh all day, fresh all day, it's all cool. Fresh all day, fresh all day, it's all cool.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Pressure, ona vile inatupeleka. Pesa, nikikosa leo unakesha na kuna kesho. Tulia kidogo, ganga ya leo. Na ukinge moyo wako, moyo wako. We've made it this far, we're gonna be okay. Wonderful scars that help us find our way. And when it gets dark and you cannot feel my faith, pick up the guitar and sing our song again.
Medmanyokwe Timgi machuni dwaro Kungena mungeyo Kima kinyo pango Nikech we ran away from misery. We had to pay for it dearly. Tutachelewa Lakini ndoto zetu hatutachorea. We've made it this far, we're gonna be okay. With wonderful scars that help us find our way. And when it gets dark and you cannot feel my face, pick up your guitar and sing our song.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Baby. Move on to the next. My emotional unavailability will make you sick. Only thing I can offer is sex. So does that make me a dick? My balls will audition you to make sure you won't run when I go nuts. Then this inches to see how you will act when it gets real hard.
Alikuli kumaliza kuliko malaika ujakutana naye herizimu ujualo alikuli kumaliza kuliko malaika ujakutana naye.
Tumejuana miaka 6 lakini tukiulizwa who are we twajipata to sita. Excuse ka 7 kila nikitaka tuonane. MIN kikunid the most nika kuna deal hautaki ivane. Hutaki niwe soko, wataka nibaki shamba na bado hutaki tulimane. Ahadi zako versus vitendo zimebaki mane. Death kibao lakini hamna anniversary. Tuko school of character development tukilipia na basari. I can't count the times you stood me up. I equally can't count the times you stood by me when no one did. I can't count the times you effed me up. I equally can't count the times you saved my life when no one did. Together, we do great things. But things ain't great when you're together. Katumeshindwa ku move on. We are probably birds of the same feather. Tuko stuck in a loop. Na kukubali inakaa so low kustoop. On and off. Kakenya power kukinyesha. Yani leo kisses, kesho misses. Alafu gap ya weeks kadhaa ndio rudi kuniongelesha. No open sesame. In between, ukisample other niggas trying to find in them are me. The peace between us is fake. Not because I understand you, but because there's no more fight for you left in me. You're a bad memory with a good present. I'm your good memory with a bad present. Umenihat sana along similar lines paka numbness ika take shape. You go back to therapist, advisor, nirol gani sija ape. Call me Johnny Sins. Vile I can be your everything, but mean nothing ukiclose your tab. Kuna time nilikuwa nimepin chat. Hata vile sign nimekusave na sudo. Tutakafunga lini na tumeshinda tukifukuzana kwa ludo. Kuna days ina feel easy. Kuna days ina feel tunajikamua. Hini love ama convenience nimeshindwa kungamua. Nilikupea space na bado sikuwa ifikiria kukureplace. Nataka haunikuli kumaliza. Kuna mwenye ananilisha na bado nimemaliza. Ama tumerogwa ichieni ama bado kuna nyota yule pasta mavueni tunafaa kusaka. Labda I lost the fear of losing.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Najua, unajua, penye mi uishi. Najua, unajua, penye mi uchukua dishi. Najua ukitaka unaweza nikujia leo magizani. Au hata mchana wewe ukiamua au na upinzani. Lakini, afande please. Kama tu wewe, mimi pia ni mtoto wa mtu. Kama tu wewe, mimi pia ni ndugu ya mtu. Kama tu wewe, mimi pia ni mzazi wa mtu. Usiwe kimoe, kuna chicks wananitegemea. Kucheza kiwewe haimaanishi utumie nguvu. Uwanjani wa matokeo tu. Vita vya kweli uishi akilini. Tutalilia haki hadi lini. Na wewe utazidi kutumika hadi lini. Kwani hujui kuna tofauti ya kulinda amani na yao mali. Sawa, wao ndo foreman, wewe ndo fundi, lakini usisahau sisi ndo wenye huu mjengo. Kwa mtu ameinua flag, mbono pull the trigger. Ebu leo niambie black and white, ni nini uko trigger? On this niko green, ebu nichanue. Mbono uko so ready kumwaga damu. Mbona favorite vocabulary yako ni brutality? Sawa, kizungu mingi najua upendi kama mimi tu, lakini mbona favorite language yako ni ya kuomba kitu kidogo? Nyumba ya mabati najua upendi. Sasa mbona unatetea mwenye ana rule na iron fist? Mshahara wako najua ni duni. Sasa mbona unatetea mwenye anakuongeza ushuru bila kuongeza mshahara? Subaru isikufanye ujione Mungu msee. Sawa, wengi utashika, utabduct na hata utaua, lakini change ikiletwa huwa hakuna wa withdraw. Kuna point hufika Wananchi hawezi afford uoga. Change uletwa na wananchi na siyo yako gun. Sijuzi uliua, tushazika. Sambona bado ni wewe tunaita cops. Najua unajua kutumia bunduki. Najua unajua penye ukini siezi pona. Najua ukiamua kuniua hata ipoa yezi nipona. Lakini afande please. Kama tu wewe, mimi pia ni mtoto wa mtu. Kama tu wewe, mimi pia ni mzazi wa mtu. Ebu jiulize probably kama si wewe, haungekuwa unaishi kwa nyumba ya mabati. Probably kama si wewe, tungekuwa na better country.
Awesome. Hey, snap, 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 snap. That is the one and only, the incredible Oyamo Richard. He's a poet and activist. So pressure creases, ama increases or creases? Yeah, creases, manze. So una shout. What was that piece about? First of all, karibu sana Power Radio.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year too.
Salimia my fans, please. Yeah.
Oyamo Richard here. I am a poet, I'm an activist, I'm a writer, and I'm glad to be here with Anne for Power Radio.
Awesome. It's good to... The last time we were here, you didn't have this new hairdo. I think new hair, new you, I guess.
New me.
Yeah.
But old problems.
Same, different day. Same, but a different day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Must go. Anyway, must go. Umetushautia pale. What was that piece about?
Well, the piece is titled Afande Please.
Okay.
It's about police brutality and the use of force by the police enforcement. And it is my desire that we get to a point where police, it's actually a service.
Yeah.
And they're not brutal
yeah.
using force.
Yeah.
And the piece is quite brutal, I know.
Right.
A number of times after performing, I'm told, utafika nyumbani. But yeah, that's it. That's about the piece.
Right.
I wrote it almost immediately after the Mandamano times.
25th,
and it was out of the rage and frustration of why this guy being brutal to us.
Yes.
And yet we are even fighting for them.
Yes.
For their betterment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wow, since that has happened, we just saw, truly to just piggyback on what you're saying, the current regime hata imewatolea chakula ya free, ile subsidized. So really, tunawapigania na nyinyi mnatupiga. Shwali. Anyway, so now let's talk a little bit about, your poetry and activism.
Yeah.
There, especially in light with what has been happening in the country, we've been seeing a number of forced disappearances and abductions. And I'm sure as an artist, you have something to say about that. And probably you've even penned down your emotions and feelings when it comes to this. So from an activist point of view, how can you make sense of the abductions and the moment that we are in Kenya right now?
Well, I've actually written an article about the abduction and it's yet to be published. But my thinking is that abduction won't stop the movement. And I don't think powerful. That's the way to go. As it has been seen evident that the moment one person is abducted or taken away, there's a sprout of another person to fill the gap.
Right.
So there's surplus of resources of people to fight for the betterment of the country. And yes, if the abductions will continue or not, my word to them is that it won't stop the movement. Yeah, it's not yielding any results on the end.
Yeah.
So yes, we live in that fear, but also with the courage, knowing that even if they take me away, there's someone else will come and fill the spot.
Right. Yeah. And so when you talk about the movement can't be stopped, what movement specifically are you speaking to?
Well, I'm referring to the movement of keeping the government of the day in check.
Okay.
And fighting for the betterment of the country. Yeah, that's it.
That's the one, yeah? Right. And in your artistry, like now we can even zero in on the album. You have some exciting news. You have you have an upcoming album.
Sure.
Would you want to kindly let our audience members know what exactly the album is all about, and give the details of how did you come up with the Kioo Cha Jamii?
Okay. So Kioo Cha Jamii is an album with 11 tracks, and as the word says, is basically a reflection of the society. The 11 tracks have different themes. We have a poem. Poem number 1 is called Just a Ball, which is about life. I thought of us being a ball and in the hands of a dribbler. That's how life is. At times you're on top of the head.
Yes.
At times you're at the ground, and that's it. Album. We have another track on police brutality, the one I just did. We have another one on poor governance. We have another one on extrajudicial killings.
Wow.
We have another one on mental health.
Right.
We have another one on child abuse.
Hey.
We have one on toxic masculinity.
We need to address that one. In fact, let's put a pin on that one. Hiyo lazima tukuje to address. Toxic masculinity. Hata usiendelee, acha kwanza. Not that abductions and all those things, very serious things do not need to be zeroed in. But I'm very, very interested about the toxic masculinity bit, you know. What inspired you to want to talk on toxic masculinity through your poetry?
Well, it's the understanding that we are bred in different environments, and being bred. I've been brought up partly in Kakamega and partly in Mombasa, and then I came to Nairobi.
All right.
And I usually tell people there are things I can do in Nairobi that I can't do in Mombasa.
Like what?
Like my hairstyle currently. I can't do that in Mombasa.
You can't do that in Mombasa?
Yeah, and walk in the street.
Wait, why? What is it?
The amount of ridicule, I can't hold that.
Ridicule.
Yeah.
Wow. And so also culturally, they are more conservative?
Yeah, more conservative.
Okay.
And
you will be labeled shoga wewe.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Shoga ule.
Yeah. So and it's the understanding that that's not the embodiment of masculinity itself. And even thinking of cases of femicide and some cases of even suicide, it's out of the toxic masculinity that we have.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I thought of addressing it.
Yeah. And I mean, my brother kule nje, when you're engaging in conversations of toxic masculinity, in what ways do you, like, does it force you to also go inward and start assessing and looking at your own value systems? And do you sort of get a sense that the way men are socialized, they are really actually socialized to be toxic, as you're saying? And how have you overcome that journey of, okay, this is what society thinks a man should be, but I decide to digress from the ideas and representations of and expressions of masculinity for yourself?
Yeah, sure. We have a collective called Rafinki, and then in the
Rafinki,
it's of writers and poets and visual artists. But we also have sessions where the ladies meet and then the men meet to just discuss many issues, and you realize a number of things that we have been brought to believe are not necessarily true. It's supposed to be that way. Like the other day, I have a friend called Lexus. He just called me and he was like, "Bro, nakupenda."
As we are like, oh, and then you are like, wewe ngoja kwanza hii syllabus. Why are you gay? Why are you gay? Hii syllabus inakimbia. Walikukimbizia syllabus.
Yeah, I was like, bro,
why are you gay?
No, me, I'm not gay. I'm still as straight as
I'm straight as they come.
But I do love you.
Right.
And you realize we should do that
What did you respond though? Thank you?
I didn't say thank you.
You didn't even say anything?
I was like, and then we brushed it off. We talked. But later, yes, I texted and I was like, I love you too.
Oh, we need to see that text. We need to see that. We are going to pull out his text and zoom in the camera to get the sense that it actually is true. He's being truthful about this. Yeah.
So,
and how did that feel? Did the just telling another man I love you back?
It felt good.
Why are you gay?
I know.
You are gay.
But it felt new, very new.
Yes,
it's in the same context that we were sharing and asking ourselves. I don't recall, and this is probably different, but for me, I don't recall any time that I have hugged my dad. Never. And it's not like there's anything wrong between us.
But they're just not emotionally expressive.
Yeah. We've also
African
never told
parents,
each other like
I love you. Yeah. Hizi ni vitu za wazungu na soap operas.
Yeah. I recall there's another meme that was going around. This guy texted his dad telling him I love you.
Yeah.
And the dad was like, wewe busoma. Okay, ujinga umeanza.
Emotional damage. Ati wewe soma. Oh, the deflection. My God, I would not be okay for the next 2 days.
Yeah. And I usually say how I wish that I would have the same relationship with my kids, sons, and even daughters.
Wow. Okay, we've really zeroed in on that toxic masculinity. So, I mean, yes, Kioo Cha Jamii, as rightfully so you've put it, that it's, the reflection of society. I'm always curious to find out from artists, like, isn't that too much responsibility, by the way, to kind of just have this burden of anything that happens in society, like it's your job to ensure that you reflect it back to the society? Do you find that it's a lot of responsibility, or are you honored to be able to be the bridge between the people and what's going on?
Well, I don't see it as that a responsibility. I feel I'm privileged, and it's because even while writing the pieces, it wasn't from a point of I've seen this, I want to do it because I'm an artist. It was from a point of this thing affects me personally, and I'm so enraged that I want to put it down on paper, and that's how I write. And partly my writing is how I'm healing from it. So it's more of a privilege. Really. It's more of God's way of letting me heal from traumas and difficulties that I'm facing in life. And then after writing, I realized, this thing is actually affecting the entire society. It's not me alone. So,
so Kioo Cha Jamii is an album. Have you incorporated other artists in the album? And how did you... Okay, so you have them. How did you arrive at the ones that you picked, and who are they?
Okay, so for the album, I had the pieces ready, almost 90%. And then I needed, because it's pure poetry, I needed to infuse some form of musicality.
Right.
So I got a number of musicians to have them. And then there's one piece that I collaborated with other poets. So there's a piece that's about artistry itself. And it was from a point of, I love that piece. It's from a point of, why are we doing art? It's not like it's the best thing to do in the world. But we still do it anyway. We wake up today, we do the same thing. We lose friends, families, resources through this art, but we still do it anyway. So I wanted to write a piece about it. And I collaborated with a revolutionary speaker.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah, I also collaborated with Cardiac in that. And then there's a piece about femicide and toxic masculinity, which I collaborated with Jesse David. I also collaborated with Chris Barr on a piece, which is about love.
I mean, we're in the month of love. Something for the lovers in the house. The
piece I did, Afande Please, I've collaborated with Pain. She added some bit of vocals in it. There's a piece titled Tumeamua, Tumepanga, Tumetenga. I collaborated with Mwikali. I also collaborated with Benito on a piece on mental health.
Right.
It's called Nijulie Hali.
Yeah.
Who else am I forgetting?
Forgetting your people.
Yeah,
All right,
that's it.
that's it. Yeah. So I mean, wow, quite the lineup there. I mean, poetry royalty and other poetry royalty there.
Yeah.
How did you arrive at these names? What drew you to the specific people in the specific pieces, projects?
Sure.
Yeah.
So for each piece, because it had its own theme, I was also checking on the language. So I'll check this piece is pure Swahili. It's more of emotional or introspective. So I needed to get someone who is versatile or does music in pure Swahili.
Right.
Mostly, and also someone who is in that space. So like for the mental health, I got Benito. He does bongo music. So I was like, this is pure Swahili.
Yes.
And I that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And that goes across for all the other pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a very beautiful thing to be able to see artists coming together and collaborating on projects.
Yeah.
Why is it important for us to foster more collaboration and collaborative efforts when it comes to artists, and specifically when it comes to activists? Yeah.
I believe, there are a number of benefits or importance. One is just networking and also building your own reach. There are people I wouldn't have reached to them if it were not for collaborating with this artist.
Right.
Because he has his own audience, or their own audience, that I haven't get to yet. So collaborating with them enables me to reach to these people.
That's right.
Them also to reaching to my own audience.
Yes.
And that means now a wider population will be able to hear the pieces. Yeah. The other thing is also cutting on cost, because you're sharing cost of the production with the collaborators.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. So let us know when, where, and why should we come for the album launch of Kioo Cha Jamii?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the album launch is on 22nd of Feb.
22nd of Feb. It's a Saturday.
Yeah, it is on a Saturday.
Time?
From 2 to 6 p.m. At Mageuzi Hub.
Mageuzi Hub is in Metropolitan Court along Agwins Kodhek Road.
Sure.
Yes.
I'll actually be sharing like a footage of directions.
No, amazing. I love that.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
It's more than just an album launch. It's an album experience.
Hey.
I've partnered with a company called Black Rhino. They deal with VAR and augmented reality.
It's gonna be an immersion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
The child in me is jumping right now. I'm gonna be there. I'm coming.
It's going to be a whole lot of experience.
I
We're
love
going to
that.
experience augmented reality.
Awesome.
And then you're also going to have a live performance
Yes.
of a set of some of the pieces in the album. We have snacks and food and drinks.
Just a good time.
Yeah, sure.
Just a good time.
It's going to be great.
I'm interested about the augmented reality. By the way, I've never what are those thingies called? Those VR, I think they're called VR goggles or something like that. I don't know the name. That's interesting. I think we're talking about the future of the art industry.
Sure.
The intersection between tech, augmented reality. Now we are talking about XR, which is extended reality, AI, and artistry. But you can speak to us specifically about where do you see the opportunities and the intersection between poetry, activism, and tech? Is it helping to further the message? How are you using tech? And that's quite a cool thing. Like, how did you even decide to have incorporate virtual reality in the experience, and what do you think it will aid in that regard?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are told we have to either shape up or shape out.
Oh.
And this means shaping up.
Oh, yeah.
Into it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to reinvent ourselves.
Reinvent.
And incorporate technology
Mm-hmm.
as it's coming.
Mm.
So it's going to be augmented reality,
Love.
virtual reality.
Okay.
And essentially what happens is we are embedding visuals on an image. So you'll be able to scan an image, and then from scanning it, you'll be able to interact with a number of visuals that are meant for the pieces. So for the 11 tracks, they have visuals.
Different
ready,
visuals.
And they are not anywhere else.
It's just, you gotta be there.
With them.
This is so interesting.
Yeah.
Guys, Kioo Cha Jamii, 22nd of February at Mageuzi Hub from 2 p.m. East African time. You need to be there. You need to be there.
I really need to.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't think I've ever been to an augmented reality anything. I saw that there's a museum of illusions that just opened in Nairobi. Have you been?
I've seen there.
Yeah. You're also planning to go. Yeah, that's so interesting. I think is this the future of concerts or launches, just creating spaces for people to just immerse themselves in the art and engage in the art, and because there might be a little bit of a tension here, and tell me if you disagree. Yes, you're talking about the abduction and toxic masculinity, but me, when I see the augmented reality things, the imagery, see me, I'll just be there for the vibes. I'll forget that we are here to also be educated and be informed about what's going on. Do you think there's a clash?
I don't think there is a clash.
Yeah.
It's more of I recall there's a story that during the colonial period, to get Africans to go to school, the whites had to had sweets and food, and so people went to school to get food, and that's why I think there's no clash here, because people will be coming for the augmented reality, and while you're experiencing augmented reality, you're interacting with the pieces.
Nice.
So it's you getting educated, inspired with the pieces.
Yeah.
So there's no clash. They're actually working together.
They're working in tandem.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I think this is actually the future.
This is the future.
I was exploring some option and realizing that we can maybe even have like rehearsals where we are not at the same place, but through virtual reality, we are at the same place.
Right.
I don't know if you get.
I get it.
It could be in your house, I'm in my house, and we rehearse in a theater.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to be together. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Or you could attend a concert while in your house.
Yeah.
But it's live.
But it's not the same. It's not the same. We want the people around you. It's not the same.
Yeah, but you could imagine maybe in the case of
COVID.
When we had COVID.
Yeah. Maybe that.
Sure.
Right. This is very exciting, but let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we talk about why you and you need to get yourself the tickets. How do you get tickets? And he'll tell us why you need to come for the Kioo Cha Jamii album experience. Right, let's take a quick breather. We'll be right back. Keep it Power Radio.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
I have been in here for 2 years, 3 months, 4 fortnights, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I won't say the last number, lest I'm crucified for letting the cat out of the bag. For this might be my last breath. It's the 3rd hour. The bell rings to remind me of the rooster crow, just after Peter had denied Christ 3 times. And I'm living in denial by the world, by the society, and even by my own inner self. And I dug this grave on my own, and I won't even blame the society for teaching me how to handle the hoe. It's 4 a.m. This is the 4th time in a day my inmates have made me forget my sex orientation. This is the 18th person distorting this temple. No ear is there to listen to my cry. To them my cry sounds as mourning. At this time I'll be on my knees conversing with the Savior, but that can't be practical anymore, not when there is no hope. It's 5 a.m. On a normal day I'll be soaked on an epic book I had booked an appointment with, but that can't be practical anymore, not when the only epic thing is my own life. Caged in a squeezed cube, no space for this early bird to fly to. Or maybe I'm the early one. It's 6 a.m. The sun is rising from the east, and I feel I am a west. This sun has not seen the sun for 96 good hours. He cannot tell where the smiles come from. Here darkness maintains a frown face with our masks off. It's 7 a.m. It's on a Friday. On normal circumstances, I'll be planning on a surprise date to my queen. But that can't be practical anymore, for she's not even alive. Today I have a reason to put on a mask. My son will pay me a visit, the only friend and family yet to divorce me. It's 8 a.m. My heart skips realizing today I'll see the sun. The wedding comes for me, my hands in cuffs and my 2 legs too. Like a COVID-19 patient, I'm led to the visiting room. There are blooms, my son. I compose myself and fake a smile. Hello, son. I hope you've been okay. I know I'm your dad and I'm not supposed to instill fear in you, but I'm also your father and I'm supposed to instill truth in you. So get off the mask. Son, in here there's no joy, there is no mercy, you can't even uphold purity. In here there are men with crimes proud to be called criminals. Son, to survive in this jungle one must be a lion. To survive in this tournament one must join a team, a gang united to make other lives fall. Son, to survive in this space one must have the eyes of an eagle and the appetite of a vulture. That's the culture, ready to eat even the dead. Son, in here we are dead, the living dead. Outside there you are living. Son, please live your life to the full potential. I once again apologize for sending my rib back to its origin. I beg you understand it was not my intention. I was just trying to get my nails out, only to realize that they were too strong for her fake makeup nails. It was the man in me trying to be man enough. Son, as you grow up, I want you to be man enough. When a woman talks to you, son, please listen to her. When she raises her voice, please pay more attention. But when she begins to shout at you, stand up and walk away. Son, I want you to be man enough. When a woman listens to you, flatter her with the poetry in you. When she pays more attention and you are sure of it, then sell her your dreams. But when you want to shout at her, remind yourself that these are two people business affair and you don't wash your linens in public. When your fingers are itching to hit her, remind yourself that you can caress her instead. Son, I want you to be man enough. Before you shoot your bullet, ask yourself if it's necessary. If it is, then aim and shoot. If she absorbs the bullet, please own the result. Do not abandon the flesh of your blood and turn to liquor. Son, blood is thicker than water. I want you to be man enough. When calamity visits your family, be bold enough not to walk away, but with the stone on your sling, face the Goliath. Son, I want you to be man enough to acknowledge that only Christ is man enough to deserve your worship. I want you to be man enough to understand that sometimes we win and sometimes we lose, but when we lose, we learn. When disaster conjoins with your life, be man enough to hide your tears from the public, but son, don't hide them from yourself. Weep a bit. Stand up and soldier on, son. Weep a bit. Stand up and soldier on, son. Weep a bit. Stand up and soldier on, son. Weep a bit. Stand up and soldier on. Richie Poet.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up. Power Radio. Tune in and power up. Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Alrighty, welcome back. Those were the sound. I was about to say sights and sounds, and then I remembered it was just on audio, but those were the sounds and the sounds of the one and only Richie poet Oyamo. Richard, there's a funny story. There's a day I was designing his poster and the name was Richard Oyamo, and he told me, Anne, categorically, my name is Oyamo Richard.
Yeah, that's my name.
And I was like, hey, pole boss, aki pole, usinipeleke, don't sue me. But there's something interesting that I had seen you putting on your status the other day. It was a signage on a door. It was a question. The question was, are you sure, Msani? Are you sure you want to live off your art?
Yeah.
For the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And your response to that, I found quite hilarious. You said, tell the people, chatukwanike leo.
Well, I saw the question.
Yes.
Are you sure you want to rely on your art to make a living?
Uh-huh.
It was on Santuri's saloon doors, and it was locked when I saw it, and I was quite irritated at the question.
That was your initial, your initial response. I'm just like, irritated by this.
Very.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have fought the door. Or confronted it.
Yes.
Then I thought, but the door can't hear me.
Yes.
But if it's there in writing, then maybe it could read me.
Right.
So I went and wrote like an essay to respond to that.
Wow.
And then I brought it back to the door.
Okay. And have you, what was the response? What was the response to that?
It's quite long. It's like an essay, but it was majorly, I remember likening art to or using art as a form of living, earning a living, as to crossing a river.
All right.
And I was like, I'm at a point where I've just stepped in the river.
Right.
But I'm not sure if I've stepped at the right spot. I'm not sure if I can cross to the other end. I'm not sure if there are crocodiles here. And what if I drown? Is it worth it in the end?
Right.
Yeah. Should I have a lifeguard just on standby?
Yeah.
Like have a side hustle or another career. Just in case this one fails.
Yeah.
And also is like, should I really? Should I do this really or not? Or can I do this? Yeah.
Right. So okay. So I'm gonna ask you the question with hoping that you'll get a yes or no answer. Do you want to live off of art for the rest of your life?
Yeah,
if you could. Okay. So then the deeper question becomes, I think that question was the deeper question here then is, what do we do to ensure that artists do not have to always be on limbo? Because like when a doctor is never going to be asked that question. Sure. Like, are you sure you want to live off of being a doctor for the rest of your life? Are you sure you want to be a journalist for the rest of your life? You get, I do relate with your anger or frustration for the same, because it's like, why are we ostracizing artists from, for example, sustainability? When it comes to art, like what do you think needs to happen to ensure that an artist one day they can be able to say that, yes, I have found my path and I am going to live off of my art for the rest of my life without fearing the crocodiles in the rivers, as you're saying, or we don't know whether the current today is going downhill or uphill. Yeah. So speak to the bigger policy issues that artists and anybody really, the stakeholders that need to start addressing for that reality to happen.
Well, I think first of all, it has to start. It has to start with the artist, him or herself. Just putting yourself out there as this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I realize as much as I have all those doubts, I've studied education. I'm a teacher by profession, high school teacher. I've taught for like a year and then I did
You're
quit.
Nah, this is not, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to live off of education for the rest of my life.
But I do like teaching. I do really love teaching. The problem was the environment.
Yeah. But your poetry is also, you're kind of teaching the society. Sure. You still get to do the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then now I think we need to start now coming to the policies. We need to have policies that treating art as serious as any other profession.
Right.
There's this joke that someone was saying, you'll never hear someone telling a doctor, kuja utibutibu hapa,
And then-
mtu anaweza kuona. You know, exposure.
Yes,
Mtu anaweza
exposure,
kuona,
eh.
kupeleke usi yake.
No, for sure.
You'll never
Hawalipwi
hear that.
na exposure.
Yeah. But for artistry, you'll hear that.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think we should start with that. And then have policies. Like I'm told in South Africa, we have stipulated policies, like as laws, the amount of money you have to pay an artist if
That's
you hire
amazing.
them. Like this is the minimum amount you can pay an artist.
We
and
need
it's in the
to
law.
adopt that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
because wasanii wanatritiwa huku vibaya.
So even before you begin negotiating, you should know this is the minimum
Yeah.
I can go
Right.
in terms of paying the artist.
Yeah.
I think we should get there. I think it's wrong for the policymakers or the government to dish out favors to artists. We don't need that. As Giuliani says, we don't need to be given those favors. We need opportunities to be able to afford those.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I hear you. Right. I can see we are really squeezed for time. So in the next 2 minutes, please invite people one more time. Let them know why, especially why do they need to come for Kioo Cha Jamii?
Awesome. If you have never experienced poetry, this is your first interaction. I promise you it's going to be worth your time, worth your resources. If you have experienced poetry, you know how powerful it is. You're also going to have musicians. Thank you. You are going to have musicians. You're going to have augmented reality. This is the best part you should listen to. You're going to experience technology with poetry infused together. And I promise you it's going to be worth your time.
Yes.
Tickets advance. Early bird is already sold out. So you're going at advance, 700 shillings. At Segate, it's 1,000 shillings.
Line.
In this economy of Kasongo, you know that's a throwaway
Better
price.
be early, guys. Better be early.
Yeah,
What's
sure.
the cut-down date for early? What is early? Up to which date?
Early bird is already sold out. So advance, we are now on advance, which is 700.
Right.
And it goes until on 22nd.
Gotcha.
Yeah, from
Alrighty.
22nd in the morning. Now you're dealing with the gate ticket.
Yeah.
You should come.
Yeah.
Come early so that you interact with the augmented reality, because that will be the first session. Before now we proceed to the performance.
Alright.
And just talks.
Yeah.
So
I
please
love
come
that.
early. 2 to 6 is the time.
Okay. Na
Mageuzi
umeweka
hub.
mchana, which is good. Watu
Yeah.
wengine kama mimi vitu za usiku sipendi kabisa. So yes, I'll be there. For sure will be there. Yeah, so 22nd of February, from 2 to 6 p.m. Mageuzi Hub, Metropolitan Court. He did promise that he's going to be doing the actual, like a footage of how do you get to Metropolitan Court. It's located along Agwins Kodhek Road. Just come for the Kioo Cha Jamii poetry experience, and let's have a good time as we engage in conversations and experiences and meet people who are interested in what exactly is going on in this country in different expressions of that, as we support our very own Richard Oyamo. Yes, he's our very own. We've decided you are our very own.
Thank you.
Yeah. So asanteni sana. I think that should be the end. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing. You are winning, bro. You're winning.
Welcome.
You're winning. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tutapatana pale. Yes. But to everybody else who was able to tune in, asanteni sana for your time. Thank you for waking up with us. We do not take it for granted. We will see you on Friday. This coming Friday, I shall be having a conversation about the youth political participation with none other than the Youth League leader of the PAA, that is the Pamoja Alliance Party, and we shall be having Mr. Honorable Abija Musa from Coastal Region as we discuss all things politics in the Coastal Region. It's definitely a conversation that you do not want to miss out on. Let's meet from Friday, this coming Friday, from 8 a.m. all the way till 10 a.m. But at 11 a.m., Miss Morote comes in today to discuss all things women's history. That should be quite an intellectually stimulating conversation. Then later on, our boys, the dynamic duo of Elijah Moz and DJ CJ will be back for the gift of gab for all things hip-hop, music, culture, and all that jazz. You do want to stick around to find out. All right, me is out. Thank you so much. My name is Wanyoike. Always a pleasure. See you next time. Goodbye. God bless.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Clouds. Kwa nini cheze chini wakati ball isharushwa juu? Sio vita natafuta, but juu uzito ya punchlines niko nazo, sita mind mkinita kwa ring. Sio airtime natafuta, but juu uzito ya hii message niko nayo itabidi muisambaze. It's 4 years down the line na formations zimeanza kupangwa. Mechi nataka kusakatwa ila mshindi ashajulikana. Si unajua referee wa the last thing hapo chini kwa CV, ama hujasikia stories za deep state. But before mechi si unajua kuna warm up, so it's time on the unleash zile do tuliona zikifanya kazi kwa karatasi, but kwa ground vitu zilikuwa different. The only thieves wako na guts za kutuonyesha in broad daylight yenye wametuibia overnight. Na naona citizens bado ni vipofu. Cheki vile tunawatii, tunawapigia makofi. Citizens tumekuwa viziwi, hatu sikizi whispers za wazalendo, ona tunasikiza kelele za wezo leo. Tumesahau conman ukimpatia sikio na kuibia kilicho mfukoni, tutachanuka lini? Na nasikia jirani yako ameanza kujipanga vila tahama, na ni ati jua alisikia ulinunua hama kumhamisha mtu wa kwenyu asiposhinda. Ati huku kwenyu chama fulani ndo kusema, wakati chama kina wenyewe na hawaisikizi sauti yako. Wanajua kikupatia unga for 1 day, watawapatia unga for 5 years. Kura yako moja unga, kakako 2 mpatie mjomba wako. Kesho mtoto wako anasomea chini ya matope wake, ako kwa ndege anaenda ng'ambo kusoma. Kesho umelazwa hospitali wakati daktari wanaitisha kizao. Mkola kushovla ameenda India for check up. Eti damu ni nzito kuliko maji. Tumesahau rangi yake wa nyekundu. Danger. Kinaya ati polisi ananitisha chai wakati mimi niko njiani kutafuta unga. Kinaya ati mwizi wa mamilioni anatunga sheria kumfunga mwizi wa shilingi 10. Kinaya sini haya, mulisema ukulima ndio uti wa mgongo wa taifa. So utanipata nimeinamisha mgongo kwa shamba na pandamiwa wakati mheshimiwa ana import sugar mercury. Kinaya ati engineers wetu wana tamak wa China wakitutengenezea barabara. Sini kinaya ati tunaitwa vijana alafu tunadanganywa si ni viongozi wa kesho. Tutaipa vipi kupigwa ngeta wakati wenye nguvu wanaachwa mitaani, wa Kongo ndo wanapewa kazi? Kinaya ati handshake ilibatizwa jina ikaitwa handshake na si tukashangilia. Kinaya vile mna snap mkishangilia hippies na mkitoka hapa mtaingia tu kwa shimo zile Richie Poet.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
At times so